Hi, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Blonde. I'm Missy Day.
And Jill Branson.
And we are so excited to have our friend Rob Garrett back with us on the show.
I'm back.
So let's just talk about American Trilogy just for a sec, shall we?
I was so glad you ladies came.
What
Thank
a
you so much.
show.
Awesome.
Yeah, you think so?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Could you tell I was having a good time? We were having a good time,
Yeah.
all three of us. Yeah.
It was wonderful. I shut my eyes and I went, look, I'm there. They're so awesome.
It's Neil, Frank, and Elvis.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Yeah, and you guys have a really great energy
Right.
between all three of you. That's really cool.
We've been doing it like 5 years now, so obviously, I mean, we all knew each other anyway, but doing that show for 5 years, you develop a chemistry. So we know each
Sure.
other so well, you know, me, Gary, and Justin, that we can feed off each other. And even though it is a scripted show, that I will say that I wrote, and I have to, there always is a little room for ad-libbing, and we take advantage of that little room.
That's what makes it so awesome.
Yeah.
Because you, like she said, you can feel the energy between you guys. So.
Yeah, and I could just rattle off something, and Justin's going to go with it, or Gary can rattle off something, and we're going to go. You know, we'll just go with it because we know each other so well.
Yeah.
So I love that show.
It's a great show. If you've never seen it, you have to go next year because you guys will be back, right, at the South Point next year, next July.
year, yeah.
So I have to catch it. But if you have not seen this guy in concert, we're going to talk about, you're going to have plenty of opportunities coming up during the summer. So we have a flyer to show you of his upcoming shows that we'll put on the screen. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So here's the flyer of all the dates. So tomorrow night, you're going to be at the Starbright Theater in Sun City, Summerlin. Do you still have tickets for that are available?
When I last looked, there was about 25. It's a 300-seat theater, and there were about 25 left, and which in sales terms is a virtual sellout because before those doors open tomorrow at
The last
6:30, those tickets will be gone. But last I looked yesterday, there was about 25 to 30 left, and I haven't looked today, but I'm sure there's less. And there are people that will wait to the last minute.
Well, it's an annual thing. This is your, how many years? 12?
I think my first show was like in 2005, and I might have had a couple of years where I didn't do it, and then I went back, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's definitely the venue I've been working in the most, you know, in this town, more than any other, even though it's not a casino.
And it's actually, a lot of people come from all over the city to go to that. And I live in Sun City.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I do.
I didn't know that. And the thing is that the community itself, you can count on, to a certain extent, and depending on who you are, you can count on the community itself to support that theater.
They do.
So they're automatically going to, you know, take up 3/4 of that, buy up 3/4 of those tickets anyway. Just the Sun City people.
And I'm sure you have a few groupies.
I
Come there
have people
every
that
year from Sun City.
they won't travel to the South Point, and they won't travel to the cannery,
but they'll
they
be
wait.
there.
They know I'm coming
That's
there,
right.
so they'll just sit still
Yeah.
and you know, sit back and wait for me to come to them. You know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then your next one, so July 21st, you're going to be at Bonnie Castle in Alexandria Bay, New York.
And that's a new one for me. So I get to take some of my band on that one.
Oh, nice.
We get to go cross country, and we get to go to upstate New York, and never been there, and but everyone tells me it's a beautiful, beautiful, you know, resort town on the water,
Oh,
and what a perfect time of year to be there.
Oh, yeah.
So and that's in a 600-seat room. So I'm happy about that too.
that's
you know,
awesome.
and,
Yeah.
So that's this weekend.
Cool.
Yeah, that's weekend.
That's
And then August 2nd, you're in Benton County Fair, Corvallis, Oregon.
Yeah. Say that again, because I can't say.
Corvallis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in Dallas, Oregon for 15 years, which is the next city over from Corvallis. Oh, I'm going to have to tell all my Oregon friends to go see you.
Corvallis,
All my
yeah.
Oregon friends, you got to go see Rob Garrett. Like, seriously, you do.
Oregon, I am on my way. Okay. Yeah.
And
I'm
then-
the traveling diamond. I've never been there either, and we're doing the Benton County Fair.
Yeah, that's a cool
Oh,
fair.
which I-
That'll really be fun.
Not familiar with. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
a big fair.
Oh, good.
You'll like
Good,
it.
good. So,
And then the Angel of the Winds Casino in Arlington,
which is
Washington.
the next day after the
Nice.
Oregon show.
And then we have another tribute at the Rivers Resort and Casino.
And Schenectady, another
Schenectady.
upstate New York venue. which-
And then here comes my favorite. I'm going to the show.
Yeah,
I've
it's-
never been
it's one of
seen
my.
this.
It's one of as just doing Neil Diamond. It's my favorite too.
It's Hot August Night at the Cannery Hotel in Las Vegas on
Yeah.
August 18th. That whole time frame is like my favorite Neil Diamond time.
Yeah, of course. And as far as Vegas goes, it's that venue that I've been out the longest. I should say that casino
Oh,
venue.
okay.
I started doing my first shows there in 2009. So 9 years. Yeah, 9 years. Yeah.
And then August 22nd through the 26th, you're down at the Riverside Resort
That's
in
an
Laughlin.
annual. Yeah, that's an annual thing.
Oh.
That's an annual thing too, and I look forward to going there probably more than anywhere else. And the reason being is because I get to do 5 nights, so it's not like I have to.
Oh.
So I get to hang,
That's a long time.
like just relax a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in one place,
In
and I don't
between, yeah.
have to unpack and then pack and get ready to leave. and
Exactly.
Pack up my equipment. So I have actually 6 days because I'll go in the day before, where I can just kick back. So I love going there.
Nice.
That's right on the Colorado River. For those of you who have never been there. And
So
it's-
what's the difference? Okay, so what's the difference between the tribute and then Hot August Night?
Good question, and there is a difference. I try, when we do Hot August Night, a Hot August Night show, I try to implement, I make it a point to implement songs that he did in his famous Hot August Night concerts.
Oh, okay.
That some of them we may not do in my standard show. So things like Crunchy Granola Sweet and, Morningside, most of them he's done all the time anyway. But I just make it a point to take stuff off that album. Not everything, because there's a whole bunch of songs that the average human being wouldn't know or probably wouldn't even care to know, and obscure stuff. Because remember, he did the famous Hot August Night concert in '72, which means most of his biggest hits were still to come.
Yeah.
There was no Forever in Blue Jeans, there was no You Don't Bring Me Flowers, there was no September Morn, there was no America, there was no Hello Again. Yeah, so a lot of his stuff hadn't even, materialized yet.
Right.
So, but I do make an attempt to look at the album and say, let's do these songs, from Hot August, like Stones, the song Stones. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but do things from his first 2 Hot August Night albums. And coincidentally, we're going to give him a plug because next month, his Capitol's releasing Hot August Night 3.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So and what it is his concert at the Greek, because that's all the Hot August Night concerts are at the Greek Theater in L.A. But his Greek show at the Greek Theater in 2012, and it was called Hot August Night again. So they're really, that's coming up, which I can't wait, with a DVD and a CD.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I bet
That's
you are.
awesome. That's the first time I saw Neil Diamond was then at the Greek Theater.
Oh, did you? See,
Oh,
I never
really?
had the pleasure. Do you remember what year?
Yeah, it was 1973.
Oh, okay, lucky you. I never
Yeah.
got to go to the Greek, but I can say that last year, almost a year ago, it'll be a year ago, I think, August 12th, that I got to see him in LA for the first time, and not knowing it was going to be his last concert, at least in this country. And it turned out to be his last concert in this country, at least, if the way things stayed the way they are.
Right.
But it was at the LA Forum. And there were 2 shows, and he sold both of them out with $19,000 a pop. And but I went to the last one, the second one.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I can say, like, if assuming he doesn't ever perform, I could say, well, hey, I got to see Neil in his last USA concert ever. And I wasn't going to go either. You know, I wasn't going to go because I was kind of like ticked off that he bypassed Vegas on that last tour. But I'm so glad I went.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know I went to one of them, but I can't remember what year it was. You're really good. I don't remember.
It
It's
was
gotta-
like a big thing because I remember I didn't really know who he was that well, but my grandmother played his like albums all the time, and she's like, "We're gonna go see Neil Diamond." I was like, "Okay," and I'm so glad that we did because that was a cool experience. And then I saw him again at the Hollywood Bowl, but I don't remember the date.
Yeah, he's played the
And
Hollywood
that
Bowl. He's
was-
played every venue in LA because that's one of his hot spots, and he lives there, you know. And I wish I could have saw him at the Greek Theater, and I had never been in the LA Forum before until I went last year. And check this out, he's still to this day, and this is saying a lot considering anyone from Elvis to Springsteen to the Rolling Stones that played that place. He holds the record for attendance record because he did like 11 or 12 shows in a row back in his better, you know, not in his better days, but younger days, and more in his prime, and every show was sold out. That's a big
Wow,
place.
that is
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That's a huge. That's not a baby place either. That's a huge. Like I said, 19,000 people. That's almost like playing in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
You know, I think Madison Square Garden, which he's done, is 20,000. So that's an accomplishment. And to this day, he's still the attendance king. Until somebody else breaks their record.
So let me ask you a question. So during that time, I remember I loved Carole King, James Taylor, Neil Diamond. Who would you say, if anybody, do we have now that even comes close to any of those three?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't follow anyone religiously now, as I did back with the group you're talking, group of people you're talking about. It's very difficult for me to listen to a lot of today's music, but I would say a great writer and a great performer would probably be Bruno Mars.
I was going to say
Yeah.
him.
I
That's
agree.
funny you should say that. That's exactly who I was
He's one of the
gonna
few
say.
that I can actually listen, you know, a few songs and still like it. So, but I know there are a lot of female vocalists. Taylor Swift, you know,
Right.
who writes her own stuff, you know, and she's a great writer. But I don't put her in the same caliber as Neil.
Right.
You know, So she still has to earn some brownie points there. I know, but she's got a lot.
Right.
She's got a lot of years to go. You know, she has a lot of work to do before she gets to that, you know, that kind of
Right.
iconic status.
Right.
And so does Bruno Mars for that matter. But they're new, you know, they're young. They're young.
Right.
You know, one time Neil was young too. You know.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. We were talking about that today, weren't we?
How many times have you seen The Jazz Singer?
I don't know. I don't have a number, but enough to know the whole script by heart. You know, I can recite his lines. I can recite Sir Laurence Olivier's lines, and I probably can even recite Lucy Arnaiz's lines. You know, but yeah, that many times. And I actually went to see it twice in the theaters when it came out. But yeah,
That's a
I
great
stopped
movie.
counting a long time ago. You know.
When you do your show and you come out and you sing America, that's just like, I mean,
That's
it's
the-
like
that's-
being
Oh,
there.
I know.
Yeah.
And everybody in the audience just gets so wrapped up in it. They just love it, you know, and everybody's singing. You can see everybody smiling and even people that don't know how to dance are dancing at that point.
Because that particular song of all our country's anthems, and we have some great ones, but that one actually has a beat to it.
Right.
When you think about it, you know, that one has a rock beat to it, so it's something you can't dance to God Bless the USA or God Bless America,
Right.
but you certainly can get up and dance to America's because so so it makes people want to do that, and that's his genius because he wrote that song, and it is a very patriotic song, you know, and very non-political too. He wrote that as a tribute to his grandmother, and his grandfather, who came over, just like my own grandparents came over at the turn of the 19th century, and just on the boats and on the planes, seeking freedom, new lives and so forth. And but it is a very uplifting. It's one of our more uplifting, exciting. There's energy in that song.
Right.
There's energy in that song. So that's why everybody loves it. And everybody loves going today.
Yeah,
Just like they like going bam bam bam. And like he knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy. You are more than welcome to come to 50 Shades anytime you
Yes.
want.
Thank you. I
We
always have
love
such a
having
good
you
time
a
with you
guest.
ladies.
And we love hearing your stories because you have a lot of history behind all the music, and I like hearing that.
Oh
And
yeah,
as
I've
I'm
lived
sure
here
the
44
audience
years,
does.
in this town, so I've seen everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, it was great having you, and I'm going to put this actually on our 50 Shades website, Facebook page,
Facebook.
so you can see all the coming dates that he has. And really, if you haven't seen him, you have to go.
Can I
He's
show them quickly
awesome.
what you gave me today?
Yes.
Yeah, is the camera going to catch this?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if they can see it. Look what Missy gave me. Oh, it's right. We're on a delay. Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we are.
The
Awesome.
mic's blocking it. All right. Thank you.
You are
Yeah,
so welcome.
That's a great picture. And I was
Yeah, I
telling
love
her that
picture.
getting something like this today, is a little bit extra special because, at least for live performances, he's called it quits. And so thank you again. That was
You're welcome.
That was a
Awesome.
lovely surprise.
You're welcome. Well, thank you again, Rob, and stay tuned for another segment.